All right, so for this morning, I was looking at EURUSD. I woke up around 8 o'clock to check NFP just to see what the price action was like. And at 8:30, I saw we got our patented NFP whipsaw, where the news just basically took out both highs and lows, as you can see here on this 15-minute candle. And when I saw this, I just turned over and went back to sleep, right? There's nothing I can do with price action like this when you get this candle that looks like Jade's weapon from Mortal Kombat, or the stick that Gambit uses in the X-Men. I have no time to play with price action like this. So I woke back up around 10 a.m. and I noticed that we had this really nice sell side imbalance on the 15-minute. So I had no bias coming into the day for Euro. Like, after seeing what NFP did, how can I possibly have a bias? I just had no direction on anything. That's like just me. So the first thing that I thought of was, okay, let's see if this imbalance holds and it does something like this, perhaps go back into this. Then I was looking to sell from this imbalance and take out this external liquidity here and then go for the news low. That's all I had in my mind to do this morning when I woke up and saw this sell side gap here. So I waited for price to go into that gap, and what I noticed was how big the candle was that went inside of here. So this to me was the first real test. Okay, so if you've seen any of my previous videos, I talk about I don't consider a gap being tested unless I have a swing point either inside the gap or leaving the gap. Right? So when I saw this large candle here going into the gap, this to me already signaled failure, right? It signaled failure for us to hold this 15-minute imbalance and go lower. So I went to the lower time frames to observe if that was the case, because if the market is going to drop from this PD array, then the 5-minute and the 1-minute are going to show that first. Okay, so I'm going to drop to the 1-minute. And I'm just going to wipe off some of these other drawings I had. But right now we're looking at that 15-minute gap on the 1-minute. And I saw all of these failure swings down here, which looked really good for liquidity to be run. But this is what I noticed. Look right here. Right in here, you can see that price formed this 1-minute buy side imbalance. You can see price then reaches into it on the very next candle. But watch what happens when we look for follow through. Price creates a swing low inside of this gap, and we're failing to go higher beyond this previous swing high. So all I was really looking for from this point was a new gap. Like, if I get a sell side imbalance, I was looking to go short immediately with my stop above this high, targeting those lows, and then going after the news low, right? But this is what happens. Instead of getting a gap to the downside, watch this. I was looking for the entry after this candle closes, because if you look at the range, here. All right, this right here, if I got a small body candle as the next candle, I would have had my gap to go short, right? But instead, we get this kind of a nice sized body candle to the upside that closes in any opportunity for a gap. From there, price starts to consolidate, and then eventually it pushes higher. Okay, so you got this push down right here, and then pushes higher. Okay, so look, even in this drop, I have no gap. Like, this is a very interesting signature coming out of this 15-minute imbalance. This is telling me price does not want to hold this 15-minute imbalance. It wants to invalidate it. And I'm looking at this on the 1-minute. So what I saw here was this imbalance to take a buy off of. So I'm literally changing my bias in real time after seeing a 15-minute gap fail, a 15-minute bearish gap fail on the 1-minute, right? So I'm looking to buy off of this, and I got let me just put this in 1 minute. I got a little impatient, and when I saw this candle close bullish, instead I ended up putting my order as a market right on this this bullish candle right here. So this would be my order block right here. I bought here, and I ended up getting some slippage, right? So my order actually looks like this. On the broker side, it was here, and my stop was down here. In the event that price did come back to this gap, my stop was right below this swing low, okay? So I'm here, and I'm targeting the opposite of what I was gonna do for the sell side. So remember, when I was looking to sell, I was gonna target this low and the news low. But since I've already observed that this 15-minute gap is failing to go lower, and it's now switching, I am now targeting these highs and the news high, okay? So my target was 8:30's high of Friday here, and that would look like this, okay? All right, so I'm there. Now, I feel like my this is not that high. It wasn't that high. Okay. There was some slippage, but it wasn't that exaggerated. But basically, for the entry, I'm already in the market here because I got it on the market order, but I'm anticipating that if price was to retrace to this gap, that my stop will be covered, okay? Why? Because I've got these down close candles serving as an order block. So this order block should support price even if we get a pullback, okay? So this is what happens. Price does just that. It goes down into that gap, that 1 minute imbalance. And at this point, I'm okay. I start to see price come up, and then it goes back into the gap. Now I'm nervous, right? I'm a little anxious because I don't want to see price spend time in this imbalance. It's a 1 minute gap. Price should not spend time in a 1 minute gap, right? Especially a quality gap. But I'm okay. I'm still eyeing these down close candles, right? As long as they are supporting price, I have no concern for the trade. All right. So we start to go back above my entry, and eventually, after some consolidation, we do go higher. All right. I then jump to the 5 minute, and now I'm looking at my order flow. So remember those down close candles from the 1 minute? I'm just gonna draw them out in a different color. I can use red. Okay, so I'm looking at these 1, 2, 3, 4 bearish candles. If I go to the 5 minute, it's 2 bearish candles on the 5 minute. So these are the candles that I'm expecting to hold price, right? I don't want to see price go below these 2 down close candles, right here. So as we're starting to go towards the targets, I'm still watching price. I'm managing on the 5 and the 15 now. Okay, we come back to our order block, and this is when I jump out to the 15, and you can see that red box is still denoting those 2 down close candles. After hitting that, we start to move higher. Okay, so now these are the 2 areas I was watching for targets. We have this swing high on the 15 here, and this swing high here, before we got to the ultimate target, which is up here, which is again NFP high, right? And I had this labeled as 4-hour old high. Okay, here's what I did. After seeing price moving higher, I started to get a little uneasy because of the time, right? The time of day. It's 2 p.m. Any swing high we take out is liable to send price back into internal liquidity, which could be a gap or an order block. And I just wasn't willing to sit through another pullback. So every swing high we took out, my finger was on the trigger. If price was to pull back, or if I felt like it was going to pull back, I was ready to exit. Like, I was cool with taking profits and just closing the trade, going into the weekend with where it was at up here. So when we broke this first swing high, I'm watching this candlestick because I want to see it just immediately go after the next swing high, which it did right here. Right here. Once price broke this second swing high, I went ahead and closed my trade right there. Literally as it breaches into that buy side liquidity of this area. And instead of holding for the final target, I was fine with where I was. It was $1,300 on the day. Just, I'll take it and I'll just come back next week, because I wasn't sure if Friday's price action was going to actually get up here to take out this liquidity. All right. You'll see in my live recording, I ended up drawing out the consequent encroachment of this news wick, right? And I'll show you what that looks like, because I was in my head, I was gauging like, okay, if we can stay above this, we're likely going to go ahead and hit the swing high. But I was already out of the trade. I was like, whatever, I'll take this. I'm good. Funny enough, literally after I closed my trade, price decided to just be like, haha, watch me go up. And we ended up hitting that 4-hour level right there. So it is what it is. Still a good trade nonetheless. It's in my journal, but I usually have a habit of leaving money on the table, which I'm okay with. But that was my post NFP trade. I will put the damage on screen. I took this trade across 3 accounts, so I'll put that over here on the left somewhere. And here's the recording, just to go over what happened. So, and I'll just give like a little bit of commentary here. So this is that this is that 15-minute gap. And you'll see right here, I'm actually looking for confirmation to go short. And I don't get it. That confirmation is invalidated. Price starts to go higher. Now I'm looking at the 15-minute gap as a failing gap, and I want to go long. This line you see here that says 15, that's actually a bullish gap. So let me show you that really quick. Right here. This right here is a bullish 15-minute gap that I'm eyeing from the 1 minute. This line right here. And so I'm watching as price goes into that, and then that's where I pretty much confirmed that the other one to the left is failing. So that's where price dips into the bullish gap, and that's when I knew I wanted to go long. I'm in the market right now, but as you can see, my stop is accounting for that swing low. And you can see right here where I say down close candles supporting price. That's these 4 candles here. All right, and this is where I start to sweat a little bit, taking a little bit of heat. Price goes above my entry. I want to see this swing high taken out. It does, these equal highs. And this was a very long trade, so this is actually maybe 2 hours worth of recording, but I did pause it when price wasn't really moving much. All right, you can see we're starting to go up higher, higher, higher. Then I start to jump out. See, I'm on the 1 minute now, but you'll see I start to move to the 5 and the 15 in just a second. So I'm on the 5 now. And my eyes are on these 2 down close candles right here. That's what I want to see hold price up. That's bullish order flow. These 2 lines I drew, those are the swing highs that I'm watching for. But any of these could have caused price to do a very deep pullback, and I just wasn't going to put up with it today. All right, I'm not even I think I was in the shower at this point, because I'm not moving the position tool over. This video is almost over, by the way. And you'll see I come back eventually. Right here. So now we hit that first level, and I'm watching really closely. Like, okay, if this thing starts to go bearish, I'm closing. We start to move higher towards that second swing high on the 15-minute. Not too nervous about this because I was looking for a gap to form. And then right up here, see how the candle's like kind of playing around? I'm like, okay, well, I don't have a swing high up here yet, so I'm gonna stay in. boom, I ended up closing right there. And I said every swing high taken is a reason for a pullback. Price is moving slow, so I'll take the 2R. Okay, so that was my reasoning for closing. I was fine with it. Price was not really moving with a lot of energy, but as you saw, we did breach 50% of this wick and then went on to hit my original target. So that was my post NFP trade. I hope some of this or all of it made sense as to why I got into that trade with zero bias, and I hope you enjoyed this video.